Hey folks, this is Anthony from A.W.O Comics, and I'm here with Willie Moe, and tonight we're going to be talking about our latest top 10 video. And what is our subject today? Our top 10 animated Batman movies. So stay tuned after this for our latest top 10 list coming up next. Woo! Hey everybody, we're back here at A.W.O Comics getting ready to do our top 10 animated Batman movies. And Willie Moe, I know this is a discussion that sometimes me and you will have in the car, and we argue about this all the time because there are so many good Batman movies to choose from.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of good Batman movies out there that if you watch it, it's probably a 10 out of 10.
I actually think the animated Batman movies are way better than most of the live action Batman
I
movies.
agree, but my favorite live action will always remain the newest Batman that came out when they restarted the Batman. It's because it's going to be just him and in his own universe without Superman, all the other superheroes, and it's going to be great.
And I like it because it's, you know, kind of more of an old style feel to it as well, where it takes place kind of more like in the 70s to 80s type deal. It just seems more of an old vintage style, and it's just kind of very dark, and I just think Batman's a dark character. And a lot of these movies, with the exception of maybe one or two, are darker movies that we're focusing on. So Willie Moe, without further ado, we'll get started on our list, and you can start out. Again, we'll do this, Willie Moe's top 5, and then my top 5. And Willie Moe, we'll start out with your number 5.
Alright, well my number 5 will be an interesting one. It's called Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Now, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker is probably one of my favorite movies, but I think it's a pretty good movie, even though it's at number 5. If you don't know what Batman Beyond is, which you should know, but if you don't, it takes place in a future when Batman has gotten old, Bruce Wayne has gotten old, and he's looking for a new person to take over. Finds a kid on the street, he helps him with a lot of his stuff around his mansion. Then he lets him be Batman and borrow one of his suits to become the new Batman because he knew he was getting old and he couldn't take the job anymore. But in this movie, basically, it's in the title, Joker somehow returns even though he died off a long time ago. And it's pretty interesting because it involves the story of Tim when the Joker kidnapped him. And it's a pretty good movie. I suggest it.
Yeah, this is a good movie as well. I've seen it, and it's really, really well done. And I believe Mark Hamill plays the Joker in this movie, and Mark Hamill, who also does Luke Skywalker in a lot of the in the Star Wars movies. He has a tremendous Joker voice, a lot of people don't even realize that he does the Joker, but he's got a really good Joker voice. But to kind of give a little more background on Batman Beyond, if you've ever watched the series, it's like what he said. Bruce Wayne is an older character now. He's gotten old, and in that very first episode of the TV series, Batman Beyond, he's still fighting crime well into his late 60s, early 70s. And he has a heart attack while he's fighting a guy, and that's when he makes the decision to it's time, never again. It's time to put away the costume, and then crime gets worse, and he decides to pick an heir to be the new Batman, a younger person. So that's where it goes to there. But this is a really good movie, and I think it's a good choice, Willie.
All right, Dad, what's yours?
My number 5 is actually a 2-part movie that put together. It's almost a 3-hour movie, but it's called Batman: The Long Halloween.
Now, this is a really good one. I watched this one, and this one's a really good one. It keeps you excited. It keeps you up in your seat. You can't go to sleep during this movie.
Yeah, and I believe this movie is available in a deluxe version now, where you can get it on one disc. I watched it in 2 different parts. It came out at different times, probably about 2 months apart. It was released on DVD, and it has pretty much every character that you can think of in Batman in it, as far as like all the major villains and stuff. And it's a very good storyline. It centers around a serial killer in Gotham. It goes around the holidays, begins on Halloween, goes through almost a full year's time trying to figure out who this is, and it really focuses on the detective part of Batman. And it's just a very, very good movie. And without going into too much detail and spoiling it for people, I highly recommend, if you haven't seen this, to give it a watch. It's really, really good. All right, Willie, what about your number 4?
All right, my number 4, the people find this interesting. Batman Hush, which this movie was extremely good. It was a 10 out of 10 in my books. Even though it's number 4, it's really, really good. Really good movie. And the amazing plot twist at the end. But it's basically centered about Batman trying to figure out who this person, Hush, is. Although he finds him on a few occasions, Hush continues to hire villains to do different stuff, and Batman couldn't ever figure it out. But he finally figured it out at the end, of course. But this involves Catwoman as a character, and it touches up on Batman and Catwoman's relationship a lot, too. And I would highly recommend this movie. It's really, really good. Also with a great plot twist.
That's a very great choice right there. I probably would have had that one in my top 5 as well, but you stole it from me, so I went with a different one when you told me your list. But I love Batman Hush. That's a very good movie. If you haven't watched it or read the comic storyline, which I think goes, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm just trying to do this from memory. I think it's Batman 668 through 678, somewhere around in there. I may be wrong on that, but that storyline is very, very good in the comic, and it was so good they made a movie about it. And it's just one of the better storylines that features Catwoman. It's got Poison Ivy in it. The Joker's in this movie as well. And the big mystery is, who is Hush? Who is Hush in this movie? We know who Hush is, but if you haven't watched it, you don't. We're not going to spoil it for you.
Again, like I said, great plot twist at the end.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Lego Batman movie.
I was going to pick that one, but I figured it wouldn't be an animated film.
I know that's probably one of your favorite ones as well, but it's just one I just felt like it didn't need to be left out of our list.
Very funny movie.
Yes, Will Arnett playing Batman, that does the voice of Batman. He does a very good job. It's very funny, this movie is. Lots of Easter eggs in it if you watch it and just kind of watch real closely in the background. A lot of Easter eggs in this movie. And this movie probably has the distinction of having probably every Batman villain invented in this movie, pretty much. All the campy ones from the 50s, like Calendar Man and Egghead, and it's just got so many different villains in it. Condiment Man is in here. You just have so many villains in this movie, and it's almost comical. And they even talk about, how many villains that went through, and you could look them up, if you didn't believe it, that they were real. But they are all real in the movie, and they have been in the comics. Batman went through a time in the 50s where he was really campy, and in the early 60s, and had a lot of campy adventures and stuff. I still like to read those stories, some of those Golden Age adventures. When the Comics Code Authority got involved, it kind of made Batman a little, like a lot of comics, made him a little more kid-friendly. When Batman first came out in the 30s, he was very dark, and then he gradually went back to the dark era there after the Comics Code Authority had been out for a while. But we all like a darker Batman, I think. But it's just a very, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. But it's really
even
good.
if you do like watching the darker side of Batman in movies, this movie's a really good, funny movie if you want to get a good laugh.
Yes, very funny, very good movie. Focuses on mainly Batman relationship with Robin and how he first meets Robin and stuff. So it's pretty neat. All right, what's your number 3, Willie?
My number 3 is actually something we talked about in our last top 10 video, and it's called Batman Under the Red Hood. And this movie basically touches on Robin, Batman, the Red Hood. Basically touches up on all that and what we talked about in our last top 10 video
with Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, yes. And it basically touches up on what we talked about last video. It's a little different from the comic, but it's always these movies. But it's a very interesting movie. It's basically Batman taking on his former apprentice. Basically, he took him in. But it's a very good movie if you want to give it a watch. But we mostly explained all of this in our last top 10 video, so I really don't have a lot to say about it. Right. All right, let's move on to your number 3, Dad.
All right. Well, I do want to say this before that is a very good movie as well. It was one of my top 10 comic deaths, so you kind of know a little bit about what it's about if you watched our last top 10. But if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. Batman Under the Red Hood, very good. My number 3 is Batman Year One.
That's a good
this
one.
This one is based off of a graphic novel, and it basically explores the first year of Batman's crime-fighting life when he first becomes Batman and what goes on in a year there. So if you really like that type of thing, Commissioner Gordon's early career, it focuses on that. It's just really well done movie from front to back. And again, DC does so much better with their animated movies than they do with live action movies, it seems. I don't really understand why they can't hit the mark on the live action movies, but their animated movies to me are so much better than their live action.
To me, I feel like the reason they can't really hit the mark on their live action movies is because with just animated, you can do all sorts of effects and stuff to brighten up the scene and stuff. Mm-hmm. With live action, you can only do so much because you can't physically hurt the actors.
Right.
So that's probably my opinion on why the live actions aren't as good as the animated films.
Well, Batman Year One, though, is my number 3, and it is definitely a great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really good. Early Batman career and exploring what Batman went through that first year as a crime fighter. Give it a watch. All right, Will, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is actually a very surprising one, and it's one of my favorites. Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, this movie, and even though it's not really it's just a collab movie, this movie basically touches on like Shredder's power in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and compared to Batman, it pretty much means Batman is almost on par with Shredder, and that's pretty good because Shredder is basically a combat martial artist, and he had to use an ancient move to win against Batman their first encounter. But of course, Batman wins his second encounter. But I feel like Batman fighting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, seeing how he single-handedly basically took them down in the movie, and it's a pretty good movie, and I would give it a watch. It's very, very good. Especially if you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it'll touch up a lot on that, and it shows you how, if you always wondered how Shredder would do against Batman, and basically, they're basically on par with each other, and I love how they touched up on that. But that's all I got to say about that.
Well, and that movie is probably more in your wheelhouse. I've watched it before, but I can't remember a lot about it. I'm not a big, huge Mutant Ninja Turtles guy, but a lot of people are, and I know we've got a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans out there and Batman fans as well. So if you like those two and you want to see a movie with both of them in it, this would be the movie to watch. It's not for everybody, but Will liked it, so give it a watch. He's got it high on his list at number 2. For my number 2, one of my favorites, and this was very hard for me because I rate this one almost up there with number 1, almost like a co-number 1, but I'm going to put it at number 2 on my list because I like my number 1 movie so much. But my number 2 is Batman Gotham Knight. This was like the very first dark animated Batman movie we got back in 2008, I believe is when it came out. And it came out right about the time Batman Begins did. It touched on, it's basically 4 or 5 short stories in one movie. And it's done by a whole bunch of different animators and great animators and stuff. And we get the legendary voice of Batman that everyone loves, Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. But if you have played Batman games and watched a lot of Batman animated movies and watched a lot of the animated Batman series, Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman.
Kevin Conroy was a legendary voice
Yes,
actor.
I mean,
Legendary.
To me, he would be what Batman would sound like. He just had that voice.
To me, Kevin Conroy was Batman.
Yeah,
and always has been Batman.
Yeah,
and he wasn't meant for anything else. He was awesome at Batman.
And he does the voice of Batman in every one of these stories on this video, which features a lot of. It's got one called Crossfire and one called Working Through Pain, where Batman is shot and he's in a sewer and he's bleeding really bad, and he calls back to Alfred to try to meet him somewhere, and then he starts thinking back of how he has dealt with pain, how he learned how to deal with pain, and learned the ancient arts of walking on coals, and how he trained himself when he knew he was going to become a firefighter. But it really explores a lot of in-depth. There's one with Deadshot in it that's really, really good. Just some really good short story movies in this movie. I highly recommend it. It gets forgotten about a lot, but it's still out there. Probably fairly cheap if you're looking for it in a video store. But Batman Gotham Knight, give it a watch. One of the best ones out there.
Also, if you have played Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, or not Arkham City, no, it is Arkham City, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Arkham City, Arkham Origins.
And Batman Arkham, or Gotham Knight. If you have played all three of those games, you understand how legendary his voice acting was as Batman.
Kevin Conroy did the voice for Batman and Batman the Animated Series, all the video games, a couple of the movies that he got in, a lot of the Justice League stuff. He was the voice of Batman, so he's just one of the best, and to me, he makes this movie even better having him in there as the voice of Batman. All right, Will, so we're ready for your number one.
Now, what you just said would have been my number one, but then I watched this movie and the second movie to this one, and this was probably one of my favorite movies ever. Now, this is called Batman Ninja, and if you have never watched Batman Ninja, I highly recommend you watch it as like a first starting Batman movie. Even though if you don't like anime or anime type stuff, it's a very, very good movie. And it's basically written in an anime Japanese style, unlike other Batman movies. And in my opinion, is the best storytelling I've ever seen. And it's got the Joker, you got Two-Face, Deathstroke, Poison Ivy, you got Gorilla Grodd, you got everybody in that movie. And it's amazing. It's basically like the best movie I've probably ever watched in Batman history.
Well, the animation on it is tremendous. If you just like anime movies, this movie looks like real life almost. And animation will change. I think there's a part with Joker and Harley Quinn where the animation changes and you get a different animator in there and he gives a different view and a different viewpoint at that time with Joker and Harley Quinn. It's really a great movie. It's really in depth. You need to watch it more than once actually to kind of catch everything that is said in it. One of the best ones out there, Batman Ninja. A good number one, Will. A good number one.
And
really is.
to be frank, this movie has your favorite character in it from the DC universe that's Batman related. It's got Red Hood in it. It's got Nightwing in it. It's got Tim Drake in it. It's got everybody. Catwoman. Catwoman.
Yeah.
My bad. And
well, she is a girl.
well, technically, but I said it wrong. But you got Alfred, of course. He's always in the Batman movies.
Right.
And you've got everybody in that's Batman related in the DC universe in that specific movie, and it's a great movie. And I feel like at the end, and not really spoiling anything by saying this, but Batman and Joker had an amazing sword fight, Japanese style, and it's great. It's a great fight between Joker and Batman at the ending.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number one is going to be another two-part movie, but this one is my all-time favorite. I have watched this movie so many times. I could watch it right now and know everything about it, but I just enjoy watching it. It's called Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, based on the legendary Frank Miller graphic novel. It's a two-part movie, and it's really good. The plot line on it is the Batman is 55 years old and me being 56, I can kind of relate. He's retired. He's been retired for 10 years. And in this storyline, he actually retired after the death of Jason Todd because he just couldn't handle it. It tore him up so much, and he just felt like he couldn't go on, and he was putting people in danger, and he just didn't want to do it. So for 10 years, there's been no Batman. And crime is running amok in Gotham. They have a new gang out. It's called the Mutants. They're taking over the city, and Bruce Wayne being 55, he's having to see all this on the news. He's starting to think back about becoming Batman again. He's very tired of everything going on. He thinks the city's going to Hades in a handbasket.
And to be frank, this movie, in my opinion, as well as yours, and I'm pretty sure you agree with me on this, has one of the best fight scenes in it ever.
Yeah, it has a really great fight scene. But Commissioner Gordon's retiring in the movie, and he knows at this time that Bruce is Batman. He has found out. It shows them talking, and finally Bruce decides to don the cowl again and fight the mutants, and that's basically what the movie's all about, is Bruce getting back in the swing of things. He's rusty, but he's still a BA, and he's trying to get back in the swing of things and try to put an end to all the crime and corruption in Gotham. And it's a two-part movie. The first part focuses on the mutants. The second part focuses on the Joker, where at the time that Bruce retires, Joker is so upset they have to put him in an insane asylum because he don't feel like he has any reason to live anymore.
And to be frank,
Batman.
Joker just thrives on Batman. That's the whole reason he commits crime is to fight Batman. And when he retired, it just tore him up tremendously. He couldn't take it anymore.
So it's a really good two-part movie. There's even a part about Two-Face in there where they find a way to fix his face and make him look normal again. It's got a little bit of everything. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's really, really good. My favorite animated Batman movie of all time so far, unless something new comes out that I really like better. But right now, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, #1 for me.
All right, well, that seems to be it for all of us.
Yep, well, I enjoyed this, and we hope you enjoyed it too. And again, give these movies a watch. You won't be disappointed if you haven't seen any of these. They're really good. A lot of the things, it doesn't get mentioned enough about how good some of the animated Batman movies are, just I guess because they're animated. But most of these are not for kids, they're for adults. And they're just very, very good stories. Most of them are based off comics too. So.
Before we end this video, I need to ask you something.
Yeah.
What is your opinions on the Batman 2 being delayed so much? The live action they've been doing.
Well, I'm not a big fan of it, but I think with the Writers Guild strike they had, that kind of pushed a lot of the projects back. So I don't really know what's going on there, but there was a big gap between Batman Begins and the second one as well. So maybe it'll be all right. Maybe it'll do good. If the story's good, I think they'll be fine.
I have very high opinions because, to be honest, I'm not really happy with the Spider-Verse movie, switching to Marvel here real quick, being delayed so much. We waited. It was supposed to come out this year specifically. Actually, it might be last year. But it's coming out in 2 years, and it's kind of upsetting to see that because I've been wanting to see that movie so much.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the movies got pushed back when they had the big long Writers Guild strike, and it just kind of pushed everything back because people weren't working for so long. So, but I don't know. That's for Hollywood, and that's out of my realm, to be honest with you. But again, we hope you enjoyed our video. If you like our content, please give us a subscribe and help to grow our channel. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers before the summer ends, and we've got a long ways to go. We're just a little bit barely halfway there. So if you like our content, hit subscribe. Sorry we didn't get Owen in the video tonight, but he's in bed asleep. Again, it's past his bedtime, and I really don't know how much help he'd be on these top 10 videos, but we may try to get him in on the next one, maybe on the intro and stuff. But you'll see him over the weekend when we do another comic haul. But anyway, thanks for watching our video. We'll see you this weekend with our latest comic hauls. Again, if you like it, hit that subscribe button and pound that notification button as well. And we'll be doing a giveaway coming up pretty soon, so make sure you keep watching. Again, we'll see you over the weekend. Thanks for watching. What do we always say, Will?
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, y'all.
Peace.
We'll see y'all this weekend. See ya.